all sorts of reasons. And lots of new babies being born. When people are closed up, locked up like that together, it's like either splitting apart or coming together. And you get a lot of both of that. Lots of divorces, lots of babies. Two sides of the coin. And so we've all gone through this great metamorphosis together, and it does feel like, oh, now we're in these final months of Saturn transiting Capricorn. By 2023 is when Saturn will move out of Capricorn into Aquarius. And so here's a new season of our lives that is taking place, and these eclipse triggers are happening right now in very, I think, kind of fascinating places in the sky. And it's giving this feeling of new life, because death is not a absolute. Death is a door. And so the vulva is not symbolized here as a starting point, but it's a gateway. It's a doorway into this life, and Yama is the doorway out of this particular life. But both birth and death are not absolutes. Nothing actually dies is the idea. The essential you continues on, but it has to pass through the doorway of death. Yama. This is what Yama is all about. That's why the first limb of yoga, of the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, Yama. The second limb is Niyama. Yamas are the things you don't do, ideally. You try not to do. Or so that you encourage Yama to move in the other direction. And niyamas are the things you do want to do. I call them like disciplines and devotions. I need a certain amount of discipline to take care of my life force, to make sure that my energy that is essential for my happiness, that's essential for me experiencing some level of fulfillment here before I die. I've already experienced some level of fulfillment, but making it, living life in such a way that when I come to the end of my life, there's not some sense that I haven't lived. That's all. Fully present. This is a journey, becoming more and more of ourselves. It's a never-ending blossoming that's happening here. So as long as we're engaged in this blossoming of ourselves, which is a very natural thing, but it means bringing awareness and bringing compassion to the journey of our lives, in the blossoming of our lives, is staying connected to it. It's totally natural. So this isn't like some hard, esoteric, difficult things to do when we say alchemy and talk astrology. This is really natural stuff. This is just simple little tools to help us feel better, to be clear-minded, to love more deeply, to have less suffering in our lives, and to experience more joy. And when things are difficult, that allows us to really be able to lean into it. And we're comfortable and we feel safe enough to lean into it, because no longer is our mind categorizing it subconsciously as a negative. Now that my mind's no longer subconsciously categorizing my difficult experiences as negatives, because the more and more you do these yogic practices, life force center in the nervous system, mind is coming more and more into a meditative space between those polarities of babies and divorces. In that space, that then everything can recalibrate. The meditative mind, the positive mind, is always looking for opportunity. The negative mind is always trying to avoid pain. They're necessary, they're not bad. Negative mind's not bad, positive mind's not good. Positive mind, if it's unchecked, it can cause all sorts of problems. Negative mind, if it's over-dominant, causes all sorts of challenges. So what the ideas in these yoga practices, even if just for a few moments, your mind dwells in some feeling of a meditative space. And when I say mind, it was really mind-body, because the whole thing is the mind. The legs, the feet, the magnetic field, the prana, the chi, all the chakras. Heart chakra, air element, has its own magnetic field. Throat chakra, this is ether element, sound current, the most subtle of the 5 elements. So So when you're bringing all of that life force into the center, you dwell even for a few moments in the meditative mind, and you can feel that there is a nice recalibration effect where it not only how allows the body to access its really inner vitality, which is a feeling of good body confidence, good sense of like I feel like myself. I can feel strong. I can feel good energy. Even if there's all sorts of problems, you can still always get that, and it's a healing.
Yeah.
And so also simultaneously the mind is gaining more neutralization, which is meditative frequency. Neutralization of the psyche to where the ups and downs, the goods and the bads, neutralized, positive, negative mind. And then it opens up a more of a feeling of spaciousness, broader perspective, and the vitality of the mind is it gives happy perspective on our life. And by happy, it means it gives me the perspective on my life, even if it's a really hard thing, that allows you to see the happiness in it, allows you to find the medicine inside of it, and see how it's actually helping you. And so therefore then, when we have that kind of broader perspective on, and this is without trying, the meditative mind isn't, okay, let me get to the meditative mind and let me then assess my life. No, it's just allow the meditative mind to come forth and then enjoy it. And just be present and feel your body and feel your good energy and experience yourself as a kind of a vibrating, fascinating, mysterious being, because what are you really? What is all this? It's really totally mysterious. In eclipse time, it's a good time to go into the mystery of things, and then very naturally all the perspectives on our life situations will become clear, because what is the meditative mind but the intuitive mind? And intuition isn't telling us the future, it's giving us what the wisdom we need for this time, this moment in our life. Or at least it gives us for the wisdom we need when we need it. And that sometimes is not on our schedule. So it's just to enjoy. It's not to try to rush things, because rushing things in yoga and meditation practice is really kind of slowing things down. So therefore it's to appreciate. It's not a fixing of ourselves. It's an actually getting a deeper appreciation of ourselves as we are. And that's the starting point for blossoming like that. Sixth chakra, intuitive meditative mind, is beyond the five elements: ether, air, fire, water, earth. When you get to the sixth chakra, you've transcended the realm of the five elements. And there's the space of the intuitive psyche. In that space, you don't have to go find Dharma. There's nothing that is that where Dharma is not there. Everything is. And so that's the space I'd like us to get into tonight. And by doing this, by bringing the hands into prayer pose, we start that process where the thumbs come into the sternum and the palms are together. This isn't some religious ritual. This is bringing the negative and positive poles together at the heart chakra, at the center of